Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in. My name's Jemima, I'm in recovery from an eating disorder and I'm finding faith through the fight. So today I thought I'd take you through something which can be quite stressful and quite challenging for people in recovery from an eating disorder, and that's doing the weekly grocery shopping. If you're a grown-up or you're living by yourself, this is definitely something you need to overcome as it's essential to fuel your body. So I'm going to be giving you my top tips which have helped me to overcome grocery shopping. The first thing that's really important to do before you even start thinking about writing a shopping list or going to a supermarket or even shopping online is to fuel your body. This way you won't be overly hungry or overly full, and this won't affect your decisions. So I'm going to have some breakfast. Why not go and grab yourself a meal, and I'll be back with you shortly. Okay, so now you've fueled your body, the next thing to do is to plan out your meals for the week to make sure that you will have enough food. And then from there, you can make your shopping list. So I've put the link below to a Google Drive which has on 2 documents, these ones here, which I actually just find really helpful for doing before I go shopping. The first one is a weekly meal planner. Now you'll notice how there are boxes and there's enough for breakfast, lunches and dinners, 7, so all throughout the week, and then snacks as well. But there's a space here where you can write what you've already got in your cupboards. So what I like to do is go through my cupboards, go through my fridge, see what I've got, write it down, and then think what meals can I make out of those. And then from there I can work out what I need to buy as extra for the week. Now there might be some meals that you're actually not in for. You might be eating out or eating out with friends. I eat at church quite a lot. So that's why I haven't put any specific days on here, because you might only need to plan for 4 lunches and 5 dinners, but then all the breakfasts, for example. Also, I think it can be quite restrictive to plan to have a meal on a certain day, which is why I don't like to plan for certain meals on certain days. I think it's quite important to try and eat as intuitively as possible by choosing which meal you're going to have on that day. So I'm going to go ahead and fill mine in and then I'll come back to you. Okay, so I've made my list here, but everything that I've got, and then kind of made my meal plans from that. And then I've got 3 dinners that I don't eat because I eat at church, but that might be different for you. This is quite detailed. Oh, I've also put some snacks in here as well, just to kind of keep me going throughout the week, snack ideas. Obviously you don't want to limit yourself to certain snacks on certain days because you're trying to eat a bit more intuitively if you can. So yeah, this is just kind of an idea of what to do. I quite like it because it's structured, and some people really need structure, especially in the early stages of eating disorder recovery. But if you want to adapt it or make a list in a different way, that's absolutely fine. So the next thing I do is I kind of transfer this onto my shopping list, and I put it into different categories that you kind of find in the shopping aisles. Putting it into categories is more for a convenience thing. You don't want to be spending more time in the supermarket than you need to be spending, because it can be a stressful environment. So if you put them into categories, that's normally how they'll be arranged in the supermarket, and it will stop you from having to go back again and again and again to find things. So yeah, I'm just going to write mine now.
Writing a list is really important, but it's even more important that you stick to that list. So once you've got it, don't go off track as soon as you get to the supermarket.
Cool, okay, so I've written mine. There isn't actually that much stuff on it because I did my big shop last week, but if this is your big shop for the week, then you obviously will have a lot more stuff on your list. But yeah, so now you've got your list, let's go shopping.
If you can shop online, sometimes that's better, especially at the early stages of recovery. You can set rules for yourself, such as choosing not to flick through the images and nutritional information, and then it can be a lot less stressful as well. But if you do choose to shop in supermarkets, which is a good thing to try and challenge when you're ready, that might be further on in recovery, or you might want to do it straight away, then try and change up which supermarket you go to so that you don't have a set routine and you don't get stuck in the same cycles. Choosing to shop at smaller supermarkets can really help, because then there's less choice and you're less likely to compare the nutritional labels and to compare foods with each other. It's also a good idea to shop at a time which is normally quite quiet, because when lots of people are around you, that can make it an even more stressful situation, especially when they're commenting unhelpfully on foods. Also, give yourself a time limit to spend in the supermarket so that you don't spend hours and hours deciding what to buy. If you're shopping for the first time or one of the first times, it can be a really good idea to get someone to go with you. Let them know what sort of things your eating disorder will try and do. Let them know what sort of things you struggle with and some obstacles you might face, and they can help you when you come to face them. If you can't have someone go with you, just have someone that you can call if you get stuck or if you get in a bit of a panic, either on the phone or FaceTime. It's very, very normal when you're first shopping in supermarkets in eating disorder recovery to compare food labels, but this is something you've got to get yourself out of the habit of doing. Now, I do something which is called the 3-second rule. So if you can't decide and you find that your thoughts are going wild and you're wanting to start comparing the food labels, etc., then just count to 3 and choose one. It doesn't matter which one, but choose it, stick to it, and get out of there. You'll probably find yourself wanting to buy the skinny, the diet, the fat-free, the reduced sugar options, but if you want to really challenge your ED and recover properly, don't do that. Sometimes I find the most helpful thing is to actually just buy the cheapest one. I always make sure that I buy some sweet things, so some scary things, and some things that are going to challenge you as well. If there's an item on your list which the supermarket doesn't have, it's very rare that they won't, especially if you go to a big supermarket. But if you're going to a small one, it's quite likely that they might not have the item you're looking for. That's okay. Take a deep breath and try and find the next best thing. If shopping really does just get too stressful, try and come up with some grounding techniques that you can use before you go, like breathing, or I like to pray, or sometimes I just go outside and take a moment. When I get home, I unpack all my stuff, and I like to use either sticky labels or a Sharpie just to go over all the calorie information so I don't look at it later on.
So that's all I've got for you today on shopping. They're all my tips that I've picked up so far. If you've got any extra ones, don't hesitate to put them in the comments below to help each other as well. And I would just like to note that if you are experiencing extreme hunger, then this does not apply to you. It's very important that instead of sticking to 3 meals and snacks, etc., you just honour your hunger and honour your body. And it might be that you need to go to the supermarket and buy loads of sugary stuff because that's what your body's craving and that's what it needs to heal.